So I was going to tell a joke about time travel, but nobody laughed. Okay, that was not funny. Do not put that in, Cassie. Hi Lewis, so today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite conspiracy theories of all time, and that is the theory that Donald Trump and Barron Trump are time travelers. This theory takes us back to the 1800s during the time of Ingersoll Lockwood. Lockwood was born in New York in 1841. He was a lawyer and a writer. He wrote a series of books including The Travel and Adventures of Little Baron Trump in 1893, Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey in 1893, and a book called 1900 or The Last President, and this was published in 1896. These novels contain a bunch of synchronicities with present time, more specifically related to Donald Trump's presidency and his son Barron Trump. There are multiple theories surrounding Ingersoll Lockwood and the novels he wrote in the 1800s. So with that said, let's dive in. Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey is about a boy named Trump who lives in Castle Trump. It is important to note that Barron was not the name of the boy, it was a title. By definition, a Baron is a member of the lowest order of British nobility. Even though Barron isn't his real name, it's still kind of a weird coincidence that both of these boys are called Barron Trump. And let's just take a look at the pictures. That's kind of weird similarity, don't you think? To summarize this book, Barron Trump was a wealthy young man. He was bored of his life of luxury, and he decided to go on an adventure. One of Barron's dad's friend gave the kid a 15th century manuscript written by a man named Don, who addresses himself as the master of all masters. The book talks about a portal in Russia that would lead to a world within a world. There's no map in this book. Barron is just supposed to go to Russia, and the people there are going to kind of drop hints about where he's supposed to go. So a side note that kind of freaks me out is the place that Barron is sent to in northern Russia could be very close to the western slope of the Ural Mountains in Russia that has underground caves and tunnels that weren't discovered till after Lockwood supposedly died. Nanostructures have also been discovered in the same area that point to like a mysterious or ancient civilization. Could these tunnels be the entrance to the parallel universe Lockwood wrote about? Also, this could be completely unrelated, but there was a book published in 1864 called The Journey to the Center of the Earth. You've all seen the movie in 2008 starring Josh Hutcherson. The book is about volcanic tubes that lead to the center of the Earth. Could these two authors be talking about the same tunnels? So in Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, he goes to 4 different lands, and he's traveling through time to each one. There was the land of the transparent folk, the land of the Sodaspes, I don't know how to pronounce that, or ant people, the frozen land of King Galid, and the land of the Rattlebrainers or Happy Forgetters. So in the land of transparent folk, there's kind of a Pinocchio situation going on. Every time these people tell a lie, they become more opaque. And I think this was kind of like a morals lesson for Barron, because it talks about how the people who spoke honestly were more admirable. So in the land of Sodaspes or ant people, these people fled to the world within a world to escape an ice age. In these tunnels there was no natural light or sound, so eventually they lost all sight and hearing. These people had to feel their way around, and they were glad to do so because these conditions allowed them to live without a ruler. Here's a direct quote from the book. No one would have any desire to be a ruler if there was no one to look at him and if he couldn't hear what the flatterers had to say about him. Vanity is the soil that rulers spring from. They pretend that it is the exercise of power that they are so fond of. Believe them not. It is the gratification of their vanity and nothing else. While Barron is in this land, a homicidal tortoise comes and kills one of the ant people. Barron poisons this tortoise with natural gas and uses the tortoise's shell as a boat. And I don't know about you, but this whole like natural gas thing seems very related to nuclear war, but I might be reading too far into this. So in the frozen land of King Galid, the people are so cold that it slows down their brain process. They look down upon people with warm bodies because they were said to be hotheads and speak without weighing the consequences. In the land of Rattlebrains or Happy Forgetters, the people have extremely short-term memory loss, like Dory level short-term memory loss. They often don't retain information for over an hour. They enjoy having no memory because it prevents them from having like arguments and holding grudges. These people banished Barron because they had a big head and they sent him back through the portal. Now I think there's a few people that could benefit from reading this book, but I'm not going to at anyone. One thing I didn't mention that kind of stuck out to me when I was reading this was they mentioned a marble highway in Goggle Land, and Goggle is kind of like Google, so I don't know if there's any relationship, but I might just be reading into things again. Now let's talk about another book Lockwood wrote called 1900 or The Last President. This is a book about a man who was elected president in 1986. This man was an underdog. He wasn't supposed to win. He lived on Fifth Avenue and he was very wealthy. In this book, the people were outraged by the results of the election and they were rioting. The book actually says the Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to face the fury of the mob. Now, the Fifth Avenue Hotel is not around anymore, but the Trump Tower stands in its place. Another weird parallel in this book is the Supreme Court has multiple vacancies due to old age, and the president gets to make some decisions about who fills those empty seats. Also, there was an eclipse that kind of freaked everyone out. The Secretary of Agriculture in this book was named LaFay Pence. Lockwood also started a weird exclusive society called the Union of the Titans, and it was for people who were 6 feet 2 inches. Donald Trump happens to be 6 feet 2 inches tall, so is Patton, and so is Nikola Tesla. Now this seems like a very strange coincidence. So because of the context of these books and the weird parallels it has with present day, a lot of people think that Donald Trump and Barron Trump have access to time travel, and that is why Ingersoll Lockwood knew to write these books. But this is just where the theory begins. Remember when I told you that a man named Don gave Barron a manuscript to help him go to Russia? Well, Donald Trump happens to have an uncle named John, and John Trump happened to have relations with Nikola Tesla. If you don't know who Nikola Tesla is, he was an engineer and an inventor, and he also said he had experienced time travel and was able to see the past, present, and future at the same time. These studies kind of led to the Philadelphia experiment, which I think was also nicknamed Project Rainbow, and this experiment was about the US ship that teleported during the war. Now there's a lot of information about Tesla and the ship and how all of this ties into this theory, but I don't want to get too far off topic, so if you want to look into any of this information, it'll all be linked down below. So getting back on topic, there are rumors that John Trump gave Donald Trump a manuscript written by Nikola Tesla, and if this is true, it means that the book predicted this and Donald Trump has access to time travel. So this is all the general information of the theory, but if this theory turns out to be true, it ties into a bunch of other theories. If time travel is being observed, it could very easily explain the Mandela effect. Lockwood wrote another book called Laconics of Occult, and he started that weird exclusive club. I don't know about you, but this is giving me a lot of Illuminati vibes. Also, it could be possible that all this time travel stuff is crap and this is actually just life imitating art. I also have a separate theory, but it kind of ties into the subject of time travel. So let's say Tesla really did figure out a way to manipulate time and space to allow people to teleport and time travel. People in the future could be using their spacecrafts to travel through time. We would see these spacecraft and think, oh wow, a UFO, I wonder if that's an alien. I think if this is true, abductions happen by people who have access to time travel, whether this be the government or the Illuminati or whoever's in charge. But when these abductions happen, they take these people to Area 51 and they run experiments on them, kind of like the Montauk Project. But when they take these people back, they let them believe that it was aliens that abducted them. So these people are going out in the street saying, hey, I just got abducted by an alien. They ran all these experiments on me. I'm kind of freaking out. But the public just looks at them and thinks, hey, you're crazy. Stay away from me. These people look crazy. No one believes them, and all this information is just hiding in plain sight. There's honestly so much more to this theory, but this is a pretty good synopsis. I have all of my sources linked below, so if you want to look more into it, you can go check that out. If you want to comment any information I might have missed or maybe overlooked, please do so. But anyways, that's it for today's video. I'm glad you got to see me.